I'm Kayla Sellers.
And I'm Paxton Brown. Today we get a look at the dangers of senioritis and travel to East Lansing to discuss a controversial issue, the unionization of college athletes.
All this and more on this episode of
SHS Today.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are. We are.
We are. We are.
Saline High School.
The 5K Mile Trailblaze is fast approaching. This is not your ordinary race. This event supports Saline Destination Imagination. It takes place this Sunday, May 4th. Registration is $30 for adults and $20 for students. You can register at salinedi.org.
All participants receive a race t-shirt, a finisher medal, and some awesome post-race goodies. I wonder if you actually get nachos.
Moving on, an interesting topic that has been on the news is the unionizing of college athletes. Patrick Canavan goes to our state capitol for a special report.
With the rising toll of academic stress, one question still goes unanswered. Should college athletes be able to unionize? I'm here in our state's great capital to hear the people's opinion.
I think they should. I think whenever you have a group of people that are working together, they should have the opportunity to organize collectively to protect their rights. Being able to cooperate and work together so that they're not being taken advantage of, I think is important, as in any other workplace or someplace similar to a workplace. Disadvantages, there may be costs, but I think there's a lot of money in college sports, and I think the fact of them unionizing will just make them better able to participate in the sport.
Although many may favor this idea, there are many negative consequences to the unionization of college athletes. For instance, many lower-end teams may get cut. We talked to citizens to hear their opinion of why unionization should not occur.
They're in a union. It's called the team. And they're on the team. That's their union, and that's the union they ought to be worried about, in my opinion. Now, granted, some of them go to college just to learn to play a sport and to excel and to make themselves marketable to the NFL or the NBA or whatever it is. And if they're not interested in education, then the whole system is kind of messed up. But the union for the athletes, to me, is the team they belong to and the free education that they're getting from some fine universities. What does that do to the coaches? What does that do to their ability to teach or to mold? I mean, presumably you're going there not just to play, you're going there to learn. And typically when we're talking about union labor, there are rules, and there are already rules in the NCAA as to how long you can practice, what you can accept, what you can't accept in terms of finance. So to me, it's kind of redundant because they're already protected by those protections. So I think to unionize in college sports is straight. You might as well call it semi-pro then, because that's what it would be.
No matter your stance, either side has positive and negative effects that could reshape the face of college athletics from here on out. And as always, I'm Patrick Canavan. Thank you for watching.
It'll be interesting to see the decision the NCAA establishes. Regardless, being on a sports team is an essential part of every athlete's life.
The annual Spring Arts Festival features art from kindergarten through 12th grade. It is in the Wrestling Room, and starting today, May 2nd, after school until the end of next week. Come and see all the beautiful art.
Every year, students come and go in high school. Those who leave typically have a strong case of senioritis.
Senioritis is a contagious condition that gets progressively worse throughout the year and is often found in most seniors. Holly Greca goes around the school to talk about this horrendous disease.
Hey Saline, I'm Holly Greca bringing you breaking news about an infectious disease sweeping the student body here at Saline High School. Senioritis is a disease that causes high school seniors to lack motivation in all schoolwork towards the conclusion of their senior year of high school.
Not reading a single AP literature book, not doing any of my AP Psych modules, and pretty much not doing homework in general.
All I want to do is sleep and eat and watch Netflix.
I want to go home and watch Netflix.
Like, it's so bad.
If you or someone you know struggles with senioritis, feel free to contact.
This package could not be completed due to senioritis.
Well, that was... I don't even know what to call it.
I'm a junior, and I still have a lot of those symptoms.
Yeah, I know. I really hope I don't get this. Is there such a thing as junioritis?
Should we be worried?
Well, nevertheless, we've got to hand it over to Patrick Canavan with this week's sports.
I'm Patrick Canavan. This is SHS Sports. Let's get started. The boys lacrosse team took on the Kicking Mules of Bedford this week. The boys dominated with the final score of 14-4. Also, the tennis team took on the Skyline Eagles. The ladies lost with the final score of 3-5. The Saline crew team had a regatta this past Saturday. Winton Kirkpatrick rode his way over to the competition to see how it went.
Saline won 5 medals at the Huron River Sprints this week. The race consisted of 9 other teams rowing 1,500-meter sprints for the duration of the event. Saline stayed near the top for most of the event and came away with 3 second-place medals and 2 third-place medals. With 6 boats in the finals, Saline lost the overall event to St. John's and St. Ursula. Jacob Hargrove comments on his hopes for the potential of Saline crew.
Jacob Hargrove, I'm one of the captains of the rowing team. I just recently came back from the varsity 8. We lost, but there's a lot of room for improvement there. A lot of great potential on our team. A lot of good rowers that are stepping up, doing what they need to do. We're really expecting a lot of medals this year. This year, I think, is going to be a high point.
The boys and girls track team host the Golden Triangle after school today. The final events start at 4 p.m. The golf team heads over to Northville for the Northville Invitational this Saturday. The boys tee off at 8:30 a.m., so make sure you put your way over to cheer on your Hornets. Well, that wraps up another edition of SHS Sports. And as always, I'm Patrick Canavan. Back to you, Kayla.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's show.
Next week, we bring you a movie review and a feature on the Spring Arts Festival.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates. Once again, I'm Kayla Sellers.
And I'm Paxton Brown. Have a relaxing weekend, Saline.
What are you doing? Go back to work.